Hey, I'm Andrea Lindsay, and I'm here with Kendra George, and we have a special guest with us today. I'm so excited to introduce to you my friend Shauna Seamons, and she is joining us from Boston. So right now we are in three different time zones. So this is so mind-blowing that we have the power of technology bringing us from coast to coast and being
Literally.
able to talk to you today as a group of sisters that love the Savior. And so I am so excited to introduce to you Shauna.
My name is Shauna Seamons, and I have this wonderful privilege of working for the church. I work for seminary and institutes, and I've done so for 27 years, and I just love it. So I'm out here in Boston, both teaching institute at the Cambridge Institute, and then coordinating with all the seminary teachers and institute teachers in the area. So that's me.
And I'm going to ask you one more question. You also just recently finished a doctoral program not too long ago, okay? And tell us a little bit about that.
So that was a fabulous opportunity. And my emphasis, it was in curriculum and instruction, but my emphasis was on biblical literacy, particularly that of women. And I wanted to understand a little bit more about why these confident, well educated, high powered women tend to be less confident when it comes to speaking regarding the doctrine and the scriptures. And so that was an interesting study to really contemplate that and see what are perhaps some of the reasons why women are less confident in that area when they are accomplished in so many ways in other areas of their lives.
So, what was your biggest takeaway from that?
Yeah, that's my question. I'm like, what did you find
Right?
out?
Right?
I want to
Well,
hear. Let's change the
one thing that was very interesting is that we as women look at risk differently.
Mm.
And we don't, particularly when it comes to risk as far as spiritual things go, we tend to be less risk takers. And so that was one thing I noticed is that we say something in a gospel doctrine class and we say it in a way that is less than authoritative when really we know our stuff. We know what we're talking about, and we don't want to run the risk of being wrong, or we don't want to run the risk of offending somebody, or we don't want to run the risk of dot dot dot. And so we tend to put our comments in, we couch it in a different phraseology and way so as to do that. But then another thing I took away was that um, traditionally we just have never been looked at as the authorities. And so we've often had people question what we just said or put us down for what we just said
Mhm.
instead of being willing to listen and learn. And so those were a couple of the big takeaways. There are still many other things that contribute to why a person,
podcast.
particularly women, aren't as confident as they probably could be about their gospel knowledge. But those were just some.
Thinking about our topic for today, I think it ties very, very well into what you're saying when, especially when we're talking about women and that fear that we sometimes have of really expressing what we know to be true. I think maybe that nurturer inside us wants to make everyone comfortable, right? And I think because you said, with history and everything, that's kind of been our job. That's been our label of make everyone feel good, make everyone, and where the men have had that, like, you can be more vocal, you can be more abrupt or whatever. And it's okay if men hurt people's feelings, but if women do, like, we feel this protective, like, wait, what a second. And I am not saying that men hurt people's feelings. I'm not saying that. This is not. Okay. But I think because today we're talking about President Nelson's chapter 24 in his teachings of the presidents, the name of the Savior's Church. And I remember in October of 2018 when this came out, and I thought, oh, that's bold. That's bold. And I have been saying Mormon or LDS for so long. How is that going to translate to
Yeah.
people when I'm talking to them? Because, first of all, it's a long name.